Okay, thank you, Christian. Okay, so how many people are here today to expand your consciousness? Yeah, that's why I come. I think that's why pretty much all of us come here. We connect into this community, into Christian's message every week, and on Wednesdays, if you're coming as well. It's an opportunity to come and expand your consciousness and tune in and raise your frequency with the music and with his message and his words. And so my course will help you expand your consciousness as well. And every time we take any of the courses that they offer here, whether it be my course or any of the other courses that they offer, there's a lot of, I was looking back there, a lot of amazing stuff going on here in the fall. We give ourselves the opportunity to learn something else, to learn something that's going to expand our consciousness and improve the way that we experience life. So, what I'm going to be doing is teaching you a way to use sound in your daily meditation practice. How many meditate every day, or sometimes, or a little bit here and there? Okay, me too. Yes, so these sounds are a way to raise your frequency when you can't be here on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, let's just close our eyes and take a moment, take a deep breath. And I'm going to do the sound that would attune us and align us to the energy and the frequency of the energy of Sunday. And then we're going to do it together 3 times. It's similar to Om. It's a little bit different. Take a deep breath. Just take a moment to sit with that and to notice how it immediately shifted inside. Something shifted. And that's just a little taste of what you'll learn. So the laws behind why we use them on the days of the week, and there are different sounds for each month of the year that can align us to the energy of that month or each day of the week. That is the Kabbalah aspect. That is the, laws of the universe. They're there whether we know them or not. Once we expand our consciousness to be aware of those laws, we can use them and work with them. Thank you.
Why, thank you very much. That'll be great. Thank you, Jess. Boy, we could have done that before our prayer and meditation, that's for sure. But before we sing our congregational song, I got a prayer request I thought I'd share with you. We have, as you know, we have the ministerial education for our movement here at Seaside sitting on our campus, and it's under the direction of Dr. Kathy Hearn. So she educates the ministers for our movement. And so we had a minister come through a couple of years ago by the name of Olga, who started her ministry for Centers for Spiritual Living in Puerto Rico. And so I just thought I would share with you a word from her. She said that the island where I live has been destroyed, and the big island too. We have no basic water, electric, and food is very scarce. Many have lost everything. I'm holding tightly to my teaching. So I appreciate all the prayer for the entire Caribbean, as it's not just us, but the entire part of the world. I ask you all for your prayers. So I thought that I'd pass it on since she came out of Seaside to hold her and the ministry and all of that area in prayers. And there's a lot going on the planet. And what's interesting about that is our president or our community spiritual leader of our movement, Dr. Ken Gordon, put out a beautiful prayer today that honors all the places on our planet that are being hit by fires and hurricanes and tornadoes and floods and all those things. So I'll have it in the program next week for you. But also then the following week on Saturday, the 7th, that evening, Callie is calling in some friends like Peggy Lebo and Carl just to hold space for prayer, for the highest good of our oneness of our planet. We're not asking for anything. We're not doing fundraising. It's just opening up our place to honor all those that have asked and reached out for prayer and just uniting in consciousness because there's only one mind. So, but with that said, Seaside is about doing the prayer. It's about doing the work. It's about the healing. It's transformation. It's about the love. It's about bringing forth that presence in all we do. So stand up, say hello to the person next to you, greet them, and... and join us for our congregational song.
That's right. I'm choosing heaven today.
Good choice there.
Yeah, go ahead, put those hands together. That's all right. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. Love, I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing love today. Grace, I'm choosing grace today. I'm choosing grace today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing grace today. Choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing joy today. Abundance, I choose abundance today. I choose abundance today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I choose abundance today. You know that I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today.
Leslie Green, nice choice.
Why,
Oh my
thank
goodness,
you.
I heard your choir started up.
Yes.
Yes.
Rehearsals this afternoon at 1 o'clock in the Rose Room.
A lot of new folks.
Yes, and
That's it.
there's room for more.
There's room for more. Well, early on, so that's good.
Exactly.
And hey, thanks for being here for your kiddo.
My pleasure. She's on the East Coast right now with Sheila E.
Oh, Sheila E, East Coast, that kind of works. But we got you. How blessed we are. My
Yeah.
goodness, we love you.
Pleasure
Thank
to
you.
be here.
Leslie
Thank you.
Green, loving us up big time. So, speaking of loving us up, you see these flowers here today? Oh my goodness. Katie Boggio, 87th birthday, 29 years as a spiritual practitioner. We love you. Thank you for the flowers. Gorgeous like you, inside and out. You're a blessing to us all, that's for sure. And speaking of blessing, one of the things we like to do is call forth our awareness to that presence that is omnipresent, that is always present, that is right here. And we bring in one of our trained spiritual practitioners. And today we have a giant in the realm of our passport president. And that is Rick Merica, who, along with his sweetheart, Reverend Robin, are taking this teaching to the continent of Australia for the First Center Spiritual. So pray us in, get us going, move us deeper. We love you.
Please join me in the stillness. The stillness is this magical place of awareness, the awareness of spirit, the awareness of the presence and the power of spirit, the awareness of all things, the presence, that undying and never-ending presence that brings us to understanding and compassion and care, all supported by this endless, undying love. The love for spirit, the love of each other. And I recognize this awareness for myself, and as I recognize it for myself, I also recognize the presence of all that is and all that can be for those that are here today. So in this time that we rely on hope and love, this powerful energy and this powerful message and this knowingness of the presence of spirit is supporting through all troubles at all times. And I know that being here today, we'll hear more words from Dr. Christian, supporting us on this journey and giving more clues as to how to successfully move through any of the challenges that we might face. And just knowing that truth of the presence of spirit, is a very powerful thing. Knowing that for myself, for everyone present, and on a worldwide basis. For that, I am just so, so grateful.
God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good to me. You know that God is so good. God is so good. God is so good.
Wow, beautiful. Thank you, Leslie. Welcome. My name is Kim Jarrah Whittington, and I am a final senior in ministerial school and a practitioner here at Seaside. And I wanted to just take a moment and welcome anybody who might be here for the very first time. If this is your very first experience here at Seaside, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about us. At Seaside here, we are here to grow and to expand, and you heard Jessica talk about it a little bit earlier, and we're here for that greater awareness of who we are and what we've come here to be. What is our purpose in life, and how do we get there? Those are kind of some of the questions that we're asking on a daily basis of ourselves through our spiritual practice and through our community here. So what I'd like to do is just welcome you if this is your very first time and what I'm saying resonates with you. We do have a welcome table in the on your way out, and it has there a wonderful packet in there and a CD of a previous service. And then it also has a little sheet that you can fill out, and so that way we can send you an email and you can gain understanding and awareness of what's happening here, because there's so much wonderful events and beautiful things happening here at Seaside on a weekly basis. So thank you for being here. I also wanted to just take a moment, and I wanted to say that we have our new Wednesday night service starting in October. And I don't know if you guys have heard about it. There should be a flyer in your packet, but it is called our Power Up service. And I am super excited about this service. What's going to be so different about it is it's going to have a lot of interaction in it. So there's going to be great music, great speakers, lots of different people are participating in it. But what's beautiful about it is you get an opportunity to kind of, when you hear the message, to then maybe stand up and ask a question or state how it might have affected you or how your week went and where Spirit showed up in your life. So it's going to have a lot more interaction. So we're hoping that you will join us. I am speaking the first 2 Wednesdays, October 4th and October 11th. And then our wonderful Kat is running the service, and she's going to be up here on an ongoing basis, kind of walking everybody through it. So we hope to see you there. In addition to that, I wanted to talk a little bit about Jean Houston, who's coming. And I don't know, for those of you who don't know who Jean Houston is, she is a powerhouse. And I wanted to read to you what she says on her website that I thought was just absolutely beautiful and perfect for today. She says, "The times of great change and remarkable opportunity are upon us. To succeed, we can no longer go it alone, but must partner with one another to share innovative and creative ways in which to rethink and restructure our individual existence within the context of our expanding global communities. To do this requires a heightened awareness, an awakened sense of purpose, and a dedicated commitment to actively seek out the possible." So I wanted to go ahead and we're going to show you a little bit of a video so you can get a feel for what Jean Houston is all about with that.
Yeah. What is the soul?
I believe that the soul is the essence of who and what we are. I personally believe that it transcends our leaving this mortal coil. And I think it is also in part, it is also that great friend that I talked about, that it comes with codes and possibilities and the next layers of who and what we may yet be. It is often a pain in the neck because it says, wake up, it's time to wake up, don't go to sleep. I think it is also the lure of our becoming. That's what I think the soul is.
Wow. Got to take that in a minute. The lure of our becoming.
Yes.
How did you even come up with those words?
I don't know,
Miss
I'm
Houston?
talking to you.
The lure of our
Talking
becoming.
to you is
The lure of our becoming.
Woohoo, right? So there are still a few tickets available. If you guys have not got your ticket yet, we would love for you to join us with Jean Houston. For those of you who don't know, she's actually in her 80s. So she's not going to be doing this much longer. And I am telling you, you can just see from her conversation with Oprah, she has some wisdom in her to provide to us. So I hope to see you there. And with that, let's go into prayer. Just deepening into that space, that God essence, that divine love that is pouring forth in this moment. That beautiful presence of omnipotent, omniscient light. This is the divine essence of God. This is spirit. This is the all, the everything. And what I know is that I am divinely connected to this beautiful source, that my light is shining bright just as each and every person in this room is shining in the world as exactly who they have come here to be, for they are God in action. I claim in this moment that this service is absolutely beautiful, that the music and the power of the musicians and the band touches the soul of each and every one of us and those that are online with us. I know and I claim in this moment that Dr. Christian's message is filled with wisdom and with truth, and that the words are inspiring and powerful. I know that this service is set up to be exactly what each and every person in this space has come here in this moment to hear. For this is the truth of God being spoken. This is the essence of everything. And so I claim in this moment of possibility that all is well. And I am filled with so much gratitude, so much love, so much grace, as I just know this service is right and perfect in this moment. And I release these words into the action of the law, knowing they are already done, and it is in motion. And so it is.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, well, good morning, Seaside. It's good to be here. And yeah, we were looking for choir members. Yay, especially tenors. So we have a very extra special gift today, extra special guest. They're our first time here at Seaside. They come from Agape in LA. And in fact, the vocalist, it's a husband and wife team. And in fact, they're definitely rockers. They will rock your world, folks. They are amazing, amazing, amazing vocal team. And it's Andrea. She likes Andrea Lane. She's beautiful. She's talented. She's lovely. And she's got some CDs back there, too. So you want to support the CDs as well. And then her lovely husband, her fun husband, Billy, is actually a practitioner. So he'll actually be here to also support you on that when we have our prayer wall later on. So they're just a wonderful team, spirit-filled, fun, very talented. So put your hands together for Billy and Andrea Lane, the rocker for God, right? That's how your favorite saying is. They call her the rock star for God. Go get them. You're welcome. Rock star for God.
Good morning. Y'all ready? All right. Conscious revolution. Conscious revolution. It's a conscious revolution. It's a conscious revolution. I let go, I'm in the flow. I let go, I speak what I know. I'm in the zone. I'm stepping out of my shell. I'm stepping out of my hell. I'm in the flow. And it's electric. I stand for radical love, and it's time to shout it out loud. We're here to love, and no way that hatred can win. There's no way, only love wins. We're in the flow, and it's electric. We are waking up, and we are here to love. Are y'all awake? Stay awake. Will you stay awake? 'Cause we are here to love. It's a conscious revolution, radical love, and it's electric.
It's a conscious revolution.
It's electric.
Revolution. It's a conscious revolution.
I am awake. We are waking up, and we are here to love. I feel y'all. Will you stay awake? Will you stay awake? 'Cause we are here to love. Hallelujah. You know, hallelujah. We woke up. We woke up. And now we gotta say it. It's a conscious revolution, radical love. I am awake. Stay and it's electric.
Revolution. It's a conscious revolution.
It feels electric.
Revolution. It's a conscious revolution.
And it's electric.
Thank you so much.
And that is Andrea Lane and Billy. Oh my, what a duo. Conscious revolution, waking us up for that electrifying expression of spirit that's coming through. Wake up. That is the way to go for sure. All right, so here we are. We are in the midst of exploring Gene Houston's book, Jump Time. And the particular chapter that I'm coming from today is, well, I know what it is. It doesn't need to be up there. It happens to be that the selfing game is what the infinite does for fun. The selfing game is spirit personalizing its expression as your life. But what Andrea was sharing with me, she thought it was God's selfie game. I think, yeah, that could be, but the book probably came out before selfies got popular with Ellen DeGeneres. And so, but the thing is, you are spirit, right? Not all of it, but all that you are spirit. So what you're doing is what spirit really does for fun. So is God having a good time as you? Good. That's a lot better response than I heard before. But, what I'm really going to get at this morning is that we have many different aspects of our being, and that's the fun part, is to bring forth the different aspects, whether in the physical form. Halloween's a great show of that, or our, like on the internet, we got a lot of different personalities out there. We say things we may not normally say. But Gene started off this chapter by going to meet a friend. They were going to meet under the clock tower in Grand Central Station. And she hadn't seen her friend for close to a decade, and she got there, and she was looking for her, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, not finding her. Then all of a sudden, she heard, "Hey, Jean," from over by the clock tower, and she was looking for her friend who was in her 50s, and she saw like this 30-year-old who'd kind of been smiling the whole time. And she recognized the voice. It was the voice of her friend. It had that nasal sound that she definitely recognized, but with this kind of body she did not recognize. And she said, "Oh my goodness, what happened?" And she said, "Well, I had my nose bobbed and my lips expanded and my hips reduced and the veneers of my white teeth, hair implants, and just a collagen factory in my face." And it's like, wow. And during lunch, she recognized why her friend had called her for them to get together when she said, "Hey, Gene, I've been working on my outside. Now I think it's time to work on my inside, and I heard you're pretty good at that." To which Gene gently said, "Don't you think you maybe should have worked on the inside first?" And she said, "Oh, no, because, I worked on my inside, and then I looked in the mirror, and I saw this old hag. I don't know what would have happened." So, But what I want us to get is that it's the inside and that the outside will transform. This concept of transforming our physical appearance is as old as literature. You can find it in Homer's Odyssey and Proteus, changing shape. You can find it in the shamanic teachings. You can find it in Zeus, changing it. People have worked on the shape-shifting or changing throughout time, and what we believe is that we can change our expression and our appearance when we do work on the inside. If you go to the inside first, you can't help but to have your outer world begin to transform, and to recognize that transformation is different aspects of ourself that comes out. Gene likes to talk about the polyphrenic aspect of our being, kind of like an actor has a lot of different characters there come on the stage, and they're this person, and they come on, and they could be this person and this person. And I thought that was a great word, polyphrenic. And I was like, well, what does it mean? Like Oprah. Well, they got some big words, Gene. And so I looked in went online, dictionary, and found out that the dictionary says Gene Houston coined this word about the many different aspects of our personality that in a healthy way come together. And so we see it like in the soccer mom. There was a demographic done of the women that the pollsters were aiming or targeting. And the soccer mom they identified as a successful businesswoman managing her office while also being able to carpool her kids to their various activities, as well as satisfying the needs of the community in which she serves, as well as finding time for her spiritual experience, as well as being a wife to her husband, unless there is no husband around, then she's the dad too. And it's like, oh my goodness, we wear what we call the different hats, but truly what it is it's the different aspects of our being. We can be that powerful, successful business person managing and operating in our world, or we can be that loving person in relationship. And it doesn't mean I'm this and I'm not that, or I'm schizophrenic because I'm this and I'm this and I'm this and I'm this. We have many different aspects. The diamond has many different facets. And as you begin to apply the different aspects of your being in a holistic kind of way and say, you know what, I'm going to jump from where I feel stuck here and move this jump time, be able to move from here to there, knowing that Spirit's having a good time playing this selfing game in me. And just because I've come up to a block doesn't mean I need to be stopped, because there's part of me that knows how to move through it. What Jean was talking about is her writing skills. She's written more than 20 books, and she says New Age folks sometimes will come up to her and say, what do? Channel all those books? And her response is, no, I have to fight over every damn word that I put down on that page. It doesn't come to her, she says easily, that she has to struggle with every word that ends up on that page. But when she sits down and she has that block and she has that struggle, she calls upon what she calls her working muse. She calls upon that aspect that is not deterred, stopped, or impeded, but an aspect of herself who looks at that block and goes, oh, that's interesting. Okay, now on with what I can do here. See, that's the value of being able to access the different aspects of our being and realize that really those different aspects are the many different facets or the face of the infinite, of God, of Spirit, or call it what you will. You have at your access the infinite. She breaks down consciousness. There's many different aspects, she says, but you've got, which you are, which is your history, your DNA, what it is you do, where it is you live. And then you've got what we are, and that is accessing your mentors or those that have gone before you, the facilitators, the teachers, or even those that are not even in this world. If you, let's say you want to make peace, be a peacemaker in this time in our world, you may want to access the consciousness that a Gandhi accessed, or a Mother Teresa, or St. Francis of Assisi, or Irene, the representative of peace in the Greece days. And, or the third one she was talking about is the I am, that part of your being where there is no longer separation between you and Spirit showing up. And when it begins to show up in our life, it kind of starts off like an inkling. You get a feeling. See, this is how Spirit begins to self itself into your expression. You feel like this hunch. That voice, that feeling? the tingle in the spine, the back, the hair sticks up, maybe catching a vision. We got people come here that say, you know, I just had a sense that I should be here this morning. Yeah? I didn't know why, but then I met the love of my life, and now I know why. Yeah? The magic that happens at Seaside, but you got to be here for that. Or I had a sense I need to check those numbers, check the numbers, and the numbers are all wrong in the report, and I'm so glad I didn't put it out there. You know, or we were going, Callie and I were going to a dear friend who we watched grow up from womb to getting engaged. It was an engagement party, and we're jumping in the car to go to the family's house for their party. Callie said, hey, I'll take a look at the invitation. You know, I usually throw it away by saving. And you looked at it and realized it's not at our friend's house, it's at the fiance's house. And I was like, oh my goodness, good thing. And we're not dressed quite how they said we should be dressed. You know? What is it? Poolside chic. What is poolside chic? You know? For young 22-year-olds, it's spiked heels and fun dresses. So, yeah, it's just, but see, Spirit has a great time showing up in these different aspects, whether it shows up as me, whether it shows up at you. It is what Spirit does for fun. It selfs itself in your self-expression, in your life, in your career, in your world, and what it is you're doing. It is all God having a great time, but you've got to be willing to listen to that sense that is there, and it's quiet. You know, the origination of the still small voice, you ever hear about that? The still small voice? Well, if you haven't, I'll tell you where you can first find it anyway. In the Old Testament, under the first book of Kings, where Elijah is having a tough time dealing with the folks that are honoring Baal, the idol, the calf, and they worship the idol calf, Baal. And he didn't like that. And then to make things worse, the queen Jezebel was really not happy with him. She basically was trying to get him killed, which is a good indication she's not pleased. And so just tired of fighting, and he runs off to the wilderness, finds himself a cave, is just really in a bad attitude, and just, I'm all alone and doing all this. And he gets this sense from God after he spends the night in the cave and says, you know what, you're not all alone. Climb the mountain. So he climbs the mountain, and the winds are blowing so hard that the rocks are being split. You know, the earth is, when that stops, the earth starts to shake, and fire pops out. And it's like, enough's enough. And when it all stops, it gets quiet. Like really quiet, you know, earthquake, fire, you know, wind. It's quiet. And it's in the silence that he hears the still small voice of the presence. And recognizes that sometimes in the commotion, in the activity, in all the hoopla, that you don't hear that voice of Spirit. And it was in that moment that he came to realize that he was not alone, that there was something inside of him that knew. And that's what we want to do, is we want to listen to that something inside of us that knows. Oprah, who seems to be Gene Houston's buddy now, probably for years actually, she says, follow your passion. It will lead you to your purpose. Follow your passion. Follow that voice. Follow that something. That's Spirit wanting to self itself in your life. Emma Curtis Hopkins, she's considered the teacher of teachers in the New Thought movement. Ernest Holmes, founder of religious science, was her last student about 1925 in Chicago, but she was the teacher of the Fillmores, who started Unity, Nona Brooks, who started Divine Science. She came out of being the editor of the Christian Science Monitor. Anyway, she says that if we feel there is something to do, be certain it is ours to do it. Yeah. Got that sense this is mine to do? Yeah, guess what, guys? It's yours to do. And so not only is it in the world, like I need to go out and save the world, if that's your call, then by all means you want to do that. But also, if there's something stirring inside of you. But what happens a lot of times is when something starts stirring inside of us that isn't like as graceful and wonderful as we think Spirit should be in our life, stuff it. Just let's get rid of that. So I just don't really need to look at that. And sometimes it may come up in our work environment. You know, it's like the work isn't like doing it, or the stress or the difficulty. And it's like, I just can't look at that because it's just not, I need to continue. I got my responsibilities. Or your health. And your mind questions something, right? That still small voice, it's spirit selfing. Oh, I don't want to listen to that. Or relationship. I mean, you know, these are usually the biggies, right? Health, relationship, vocation. All of a sudden, the relationship, the passion or the joy or the co-creative expression is not there, and you're just shameful that, oh gosh, it's not the expression of love that I want within relationship or within the work, and you know, I can't seem to change it. I don't, everything's fine, wonderful, it's all God, it's beautiful. And you just do that over and over, but eventually the swamp of the mind can only take so much, and the head starts playing games. Well, how do I get out of this? Well, then all of a sudden concepts, maybe dying, you know, maybe if I die, it would be a graceful way out of this terminal disease, I'm gone, work will love me forever, relationship will be just fine, and all those kinds of things. And the head starts playing, but this is the kind of chatter that the subjective takes a hold of and doesn't just disregard. You know, it's as if you got a cavity, right? And you're waiting for your dentist appointment, you get the notice from the dentist, you got an appointment, and you disregard it. It's like, you know, because you know if you go there and they drill down and they hit the live nerve, ow, that hurts. But that's a good sign because that means they've gone through the dead stuff of the cavity and they hit the live stuff. But all of a sudden you get the phone call to remind you of your appointment and you ignore it. That's not how you're going to get rid of your cavities. Well, you got this something that is like on the inside of your being that's just calling for your attention. That spirit looking to self itself for you to deal with this here. And well, I just don't need to go on that appointment right now. And you bury it, and you repress it, and you put it in there, and you choose not to look at it and to deal with it, and all of a sudden it just continues to stir and stir within your soul and within your spirit. You are the one who's got to decide, I got to do something here, because you're not going to be able to progress any further without the key to get in. It just doesn't work. You know, there are these three friends. They went to New York, and they got to the big hotel, and they went to the front desk to check in, and the manager said, hey guys, you know what, we got some good news for you and not so good news. You know, the good news is we got you on the 30th floor, penthouse, outside balcony, one of the best views in the city. The not so good news is the elevator's not working right now, you know. It's going to be a couple hours, you know, don't worry. Hey, we'll invite you to the lounge, have some refreshments, something to eat, something to drink. In a few hours, we should have you good to go with that. And so, you know, the trio, they talked about and said, you know what, it's kind of late in the afternoon. Let's just walk the 30 stories up there. And so they made a deal. They said, you know, to help pass the time, what we'll do is we'll each just continue to tell one after the other the funniest stories that we can think about to help pass the time. And so they began on their trek up those 30 stories. They got to the 10th floor, and they're huffing and puffing. And, you know, the big laughter just kind of subsided to grins, you know, an occasional chuckle. You know, by the time they got to the 18th floor, they're extremely winded, and there's big pauses in their storytelling with them trying to catch their breath. You know, by the time they get to the 29th floor, you know, one of the guys just sits down on the steps and starts busting up hysterically, just laughing like crazy. They say, what is it? He says, I've got something really funny. You guys want to hear this? And, you know, between his huffing and puffing, trying to catch his breath, he said, hey, well, what I'm going to share with you is absolutely the truth. We left the key to our room at the front desk. You know, you're going to have to deal with it, you know? It doesn't matter if you're almost there. If you don't have that key to get you in, you know, there's a problem there. There is an issue there. And when this voice, this spirit is, you know, selfing itself in your life and trying to give you a heads up before you get to the 29th floor, you've got to listen. And as you are listening, you begin to feel its presence. And oftentimes what our mind wants to do is say, okay, the Word of God, it's coming through, and it's good. You know, God is good. But actually, you know, the Word of God's, it's not like goodness, and it's not really badness either. You know, when you get that Word of God, it's like, it's just an expression of being. See, God is being. And so when we allow God to be through us. Actually, it's God being as us in our life. It is God selfing itself as our life. You don't sit there and judge, this is good, this is bad. It is Spirit expressing itself in the wholeness and the abundance and the fullness and the grace and the wonder, in the cleansing and remembering the key while it's being offered to you. It's dealing with that which comes up for you in your life, in your world. It is doing that mental work that is necessary so you can be that expression in a clean kind of way. Sun Tzu, Chinese philosopher, army strategist, whose book, The Art of War, has influenced the Western and the Eastern minds and generals and philosophers for centuries, said that the victorious warrior wins before he goes to war, and the defeated warrior goes to war and seeks to win. Before you even get out there, you've done the work. You've done the interior stuff. The successful warrior wins before they ever go to war, where the defeated warrior goes to the war, goes to the battlefield, goes after that goal, that dream, that something that is stirring in them without having done the inner work. They get the nose bobbed, the lips expanded, the rear reduced, but they haven't done the inner work. You've got to do that. You don't go into the battlefield seeking to win. You go out there victorious, successful, complete, and expressive from the very beginning. It's not about dealing with that which you've repressed later on. It doesn't work like that. Carl Jung talked about the hungry hounds in the basement. You know, they're there, they're yipping, they're going to have to be fed, and you're going to have to deal with that. And you know what? That's just another face of Spirit. That's just another hat that you get to put on. That's just another aspect of your being that you get to bring forth into your life and into your world. And so when something's going on, work with it, deal with it. Elijah became familiar with what it was like in the silence. We call that doing meditation, right? And, the beautiful thing about meditation, it is probably the best mobile device you got. Right? It works anywhere, anytime, very unobtrusively. People don't get it, that you're just, boom, connecting, man, with Spirit. And there's something that feels right. There's something that feels good here. There's something that is Spirit that is moving in my life and in my world. And I know that it's going to express itself in a way that is perfect, in a way that is God. Because Spirit is ready to take a selfie with you, as your life. And so as you begin to allow that to move through you, you come to recognize that, you know what, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to that something inside of me, that power, that command from a higher place, a deeper place, from the ascended aspect of the galaxies, as opposed to the nagging 1,000 little thoughts of fear and concern. Because what I want us to get is that, you know what, you are already safe. You're always safe in your life. I don't know if I should do this. You are always safe in your life. You are always loved in your life. No matter what changes, even if things are always changing, that never changes. Okay? That never changes, even if things are changing. That's it. And so you're going to be, you get to make a decision in your life. When you find the resistance to your dreams, you get to decide, am I going to buy into the resistance, or I'm going to allow it to awaken the primordial aspect of my being? The choice is mine. And when these moments of challenge, when these hounds of heaven are nipping at our heels or in the basement, when something is going on, you are the one who gets to decide as you are moved up against the wall. Because you will be compelled to decide where you're going to listen to, who you're going to listen to, what is it that is going to come through you. And if you choose to slip into that place of meditation and be receptive to that presence of God, you'll be able to be moved by that. The choice is yours. Viktor Frankl says that, and he came out of the concentration camps, one of the survivors from there, said that there's power in the pause. There's a power in the pause between the stimulus and the response. So when something goes on, if you can pause, allow Spirit to present itself, to self itself. That's the fun the infinite has. That's the game it has. It likes doing that. It likes coming forth. It doesn't like being stymied. It doesn't matter because it's everything. It's in the stymie as well. But you know what? There's power in the pause and say, okay, this is the stimulus, and this is how I'm going to respond here. There's something that is ready to be revealed here that is greater than what my little mind or my present mind is knowing. Ernest Holmes, he talks about that the mind should move or shift, he actually said. The mind should shift from inspiration to action, from contemplation to accomplishment, from prayer to performance. Okay? That's what our mind should do. It should shift from inspiration to action, from contemplation to accomplishment, from prayer to performance. You know, that's what we're doing when we're connecting with Spirit. We're getting, we're seeing, we're understanding, but we've got to pause sometimes instead of that knee-jerk reaction. Fun Eastern story, and it's been well told, but it is about a Middle Eastern man who was wrongfully charged, found guilty, and incarcerated. And so he's thrown in jail as a criminal, and one of his buddies came to see him. And he was hoping his buddy would bring, hacksaw, drill, key, saw, something to get out of this prison. And all he left him was a prayer rug. And he went back to his cell, very angry that he wasn't given, a key to the cell or something. Anyway, he was left with the rug, so he decided, I'll pray. What else? So, put down the prayer rug several times a day, got down, kneeled, did his prayers, Mecca, did his thing. But what began to happen over a period of time is on that prayer rug, he began to see a pattern emerge. And as he did more and more prayers, he began to notice that this pattern emerged as the inner workings of the lock on his cell, and it revealed to him how to undo the latch inside the lock of his cell, and he eventually freed himself and was free from that prison. But only when he stopped looking outside of himself and realized that he was standing on the very ground that was woven between his feet, right where he was the answers for what he was looking for. And that's what Spirit does, is it shows up in our life in ways that are representative of our ability to get it, even though I might be looking over here. And that's the thing. It is the multi-aspect, the polyphrenic aspect of our being that can begin to get it this way or this way or this way or this way. We're not just, it's all part of the one. I mean, Spirit is all one, but there's many different aspects of the one. And Gene Houston writes about it very well from this particular chapter we're working on here. And she was telling about a trip over in India. And she said, myths and scriptures teach us that gods are both one and many, in a single unified consciousness with its many refractions, like, the many facets of the diamond I mentioned. It's one diamond, but it has many different facets. So once in India, she said, I found myself in a village temple examining the rudely carved, highly painted statues of the Hindu gods. And a white-haired old farmer came over to me, his hands gnarled from the years of plowing with his water buffalo. You see that goddess there, sister? That's Lakshmi. She brings us abundance and the fruits of the field. And over there, with the elephant head, that's Ganesha, who brings us protection and the many good things. And here in front of us is Shiva. He lets things die so there can be new birth and the rising can happen. And around us you can see Parvarita, and you can see Vishnu, and you can see Durga, and you can see Rama, and you can see Sita. But really, sister, they are all Namarupa. That is, different names and forms for the one God who contains them all. Namarupa is, in Hindu philosophy, the ultimate statement of the varieties of religious expressions, the many names and forms of the gods. They give us a notion of how we might find unity in the variety that is within ourselves. The gods manifest in multiple forms so they can best serve the countless others according to their needs. But elevated, they merge into one. They know unity as their true nature, and for us as well, multitask, fragmented, compartmentalized as we are by shifting complexities of this jump time, the one self that orchestrates the multitude that we contain is that part of the personality that is closer to our universal nature, the constant that is with the divine, that unified one. In other words, there is only one, but it expresses in multiple ways. You know, Hinduism is not the only one that tries to explain the one in ways in which we can understand. It's broken down into the pieces so we get how it manifests in our life in ways that are relevant and real for us. Christianity has, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Terror. It has its Trinity there. You got Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma. You have, spirit, soul, and body. We have what is considered the one that is broken down so we can begin to understand how it shows up in our life in the needs. It appears to be fragmented, but it is only so that we can begin to grasp how abundance shows up, how safety shows up, how protection shows up, how healing shows up, how death shows up, how rebirth shows up. They're all aspects of the one that we're all part of. It is the multifaceted, the polyphrenic aspect, that has these different parts, the different hats, the different aspects of who we need to be in particular moments. It doesn't mean we're neurotic or schizophrenic. It means that we're calling upon those parts that connected with the infinite concept of peace, that connected with the infinite, and are able to bring it forth in that moment if we are present in the moment. If we are present with the moment and real with the moment and able to let go of the moment when it is done. Great Buddhist teachings, being present. There was a student asking his master teacher, Suzuki Roshi, said, "Master, you teach us that we just sit when we sit. You just eat when you eat. Nothing else. Is it the same with anger? Do we just do anger?" And the teacher, Roshi, said, "Interesting question. Do we just do anger like a storm that explodes and then is done?" He said, "I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that." Which is saying this master doesn't have it all mastered yet. We all have those areas that we are working on in our life, those things that we maybe wanted to repress and not look at and deal with. What they're doing is they're calling you forth. You cannot disappear and think you're going to resolve the stuff. You have to be able to be present so you can move with it and allow Spirit to bring forth its expression in the way that is right, real, and appropriate. What's going on for you, that's your spiritual practice. So if you have an area that you like to just die to get away from, that's probably yours to do according to Emma Curtis Hopkins. It is yours to work with and take a look at. And that you'll bring forth that aspect of Spirit in its unique way in that moment that is for your highest and best. Because you've got to remember, no matter what you're safe, no matter what you're loved, this has never changed, no matter how everything changes. That true continuity and expression of Spirit is moving into your life, and it is not good and it is not bad. It is just Spirit playing the selfing game in its infinite expressions as your very life. Trust that. Have fun with it, because I'll tell you what, God is. You might as well too. God bless you. I love it. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Andrea, Lane, and Billy back to our stage.
What if every moment was a miracle? Every single moment. Ooh, every cell within me is a miracle. Each and every breath. Breathe. Ooh, I say go high. The storm will soon pass. I say go go high, the storm will soon pass. What if every knife thrown was a miracle? Every door that did close was love. I'm choosing to be clear now. We are miracles. I'm choosing to reveal lights. Ooh, I say go fly. The dark reveals light. I say go fly. The dark reveals light. What if every moment was a miracle? Every single moment, ooh, every cell within me, it's a miracle. Each and every breath, breathe,
That is Andrea Lane and Billy. Woo. Wow. Man, what power there. That is great. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's, gosh, more gifts. Hey, this is the time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our gift, to give our offering, just to allow our heart's expression to be expressed. Can we have our lights, please, open? There we go. And just know that truly that is our spirit and our soul that is seeking to express itself in a way, in a manner in which God is moving through us to support Spirit's work. And so as you support Spirit's work, what you find is Spirit supporting its work is your life. And so as you give, it comes back, but it's not why you do it. Rather, it's an extension of your consciousness. It's an extension of who you are as you walk this world. And what happens is the divine shows up to bring you the peace and the comfort, the realization, the understanding, the support, the abundance, the health, the well-being. You know, Spirit is all these things, and what it does is it particularizes its expression in your life exactly where you need it. It moves through your mind, it moves through your body, it moves through your world of affairs, because we are immersed in this God stuff. And so this is just a moment where we pause and say, Spirit, I get it, man. You're everything, and I honor that. I support that realization, that greater realization of the omnipresence of God. And it shows up in my life as well as the world in which I move. So with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward as we take this gift from our heart. I want to say thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated, as well as those that participate with the auto tithe, signed up and said, hey, count me in this year. Here's my regular support. And it's that regular support that has journeyed us through the summer, so I'm grateful to your love and support for that. And those of you at home, we know that you're there. We're grateful to you, and thank you for your support and your letters, your prayer requests, and just keep that communication coming. And I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that the divine unfolds its expression in this moment through each and every one of us, because we become that living embodiment of the divine walking around in this world. We are that self in which God is doing. God is selfing itself as our very life. That infinite is taking form. And as we say yes to expand the channel through which that good is flowing into life, what we find is it expanding and flowing into all aspects of our world. I say thank you, Father, Mother God, for the opportunity to realize that that source is infinite, and that is what brings me a sense of peace and comfort and well-being, and a sense of security, knowing that it's truly inexhaustible, and I am the avenue through which it moves, and through my activity of being the divine in this world is what regulates its flow. So I say thank you for this moment, for the realization, the practice of the abundant flow of life. So it is. Amen. Together, let's say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. Your guys from Seaside. Woo! And so as I stand before this bounty, I can feel the outpouring of love. I can feel how the Spirit has touched our personal lives, and we have become that wellspring for the sharing of that light and that love and that vibrancy of God's abundant flow. Knowing that our very being becomes blessed and healed and whole in ever greater ways as we continue to be a passage through which that abundant expression of God moves and shows up in our life and our world of affairs. And so truly this gift has been made in love. It is received in joy. It is handled in good stewardship and is put forth back into flow, bringing the blessings to all it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this moment in time and space to be the activity of Spirit. And so it is. Amen. All right. Hey, this is Tina. She is your board secretary as well as a head of our new members. And so you're collecting mentors. New member applications are going to start being in the program or on the table next week. And next month, October, is about all new members around here. So it's time. So thank you for heading that up. This is Tina Lazazo. And let's see, speaking of thank yous, Billy and Andrea, thank you so much for coming on down from the South Bay of the LA County and bringing your music and your passion. It was wonderful. Speaking of wonderful, Leslie Green, my goodness, our choir director today going on. Always a joy to have you on a Sunday morning. It's a blessing to us all, for sure. Thank you. And Kim Jarrett, you're always just graceful up on stage, just fun to listen to, clear and concise, and a blessing to us. And thank you for the wonderful educational program that you have put together. A lot of classes are starting this week. We heard Jess, we got Kathy Hearn's 3 Pillars. Today, we got Joel. Hey, you're doing your class on laughter with more feeling and vitality right there. So talk to him afterwards. Come be part of that that's going on here. So practitioner class, still available for that. So there is a lot happening, as well as Wednesday night. I'm going to be there, October 4th. Okay, what time? 7 o'clock. Okay, it's going to be a wonderful new shift. We're taking that jump for sure. Speaking of jumps, Ed, thank you for the sound. Appreciate you for that. Marv, appreciate you for the visuals. Crawford and his wonderful team, we thank the Crawfords for bringing us that. They're in the side room just switching the 3 cameras, and it is being viewed by hundreds of people. I mean, right now, we know you guys are there. We love you. Thank you. And I look behind the camera. I want you to know the interns that are serving to put this on, their semester has completed, and they're still here doing this because they love it, not because they need any more educational credits. So a big shout out to those that are behind the camera. It was greatly appreciated. Let's see. I want to, after service day, we also have the Divine Connection group that's getting together. Carrie Lake, who's also offering a class that starts this week. And there's a party going on at my house, I understand. A pool party. Are you guys coming? Yeah, I live like right around the corner, not too far. You got your bathing suits? Got your appetites? This is going to be good. Anybody? Ramon, what happened to your hair? Oh my, man, you're a styling dude. You're looking good. How does that feel? That's your first haircut in your life, right? Wow. Yeah, you leave yours there. It's beautiful. Yes, you are a princess. So, anybody want to talk to me? You're Belle, absolutely. So, anyway, hey, Coop, good to see you. How'd you do with your popcorn sales? I owe you $20 for all the popcorn I bought last week, right? I got it for you. Make sure you hit me up after service. I don't have any money in my pocket right now because my God is abundant. So anyway, I'm going to pray, but I'm not praying alone today. It is Prayer Wall Sunday, so I am going to invite all religious science practitioners to stand up here. What I'm going to do is pray, and when I'm done praying and we're done singing ourselves out of here, I invite you to come up and receive a personal prayer. And after you get your prayer, go buy a Gene Houston ticket. But these individuals, they have been trained in the art and the skills of prayer and meditation. If you want a birthday prayer, you can see Katie, who gave us the flowers, 87 years. Just my goodness, what a blessing for sure. And so as I stand here with this sense of well-being and the love and continuity of life and self-expression, I just realize all these various aspects. It's God selfing itself. That's the fun the infinite has in the selfing game. It takes on the expression as our very life. It takes the form of the consciousness in which we have been journeying with. And so in this moment, I choose to focus on that life force, that infinite intelligence that guides the universe, the wisdom that birthed each of us into expression, that first breath, that life force, that joy, that love, that wholeness, the abundance. I know that's true of the essence of being. I can feel it. I sense it. For God is in and through all things. All the great religions say spirit is infinite. That means you're of that. I mean, think about that. God is infinite. There cannot be anything else. That is what you are, is the infinite expressing itself. You are self-expression of the divine. And so if there is something lurking in the subjective, playing havoc because it hasn't been resolved, I know this is the moment to bring it out into the life. You cannot die to get away from it and feel as if you exited this world in a shameless kind of way. Rather, bring it into the light and allow the light to reveal and heal. Feed those hungry dogs of consciousness with the presence of God, with the light, the love, and the understanding, and know that you are safe, that you are loved, and that never changes, even in this changing world. In this time in which time is expanding, I know for each and every one of us, we become that perfect vortex in which the infinite takes form. And with that, it brings with it the health, the wholeness, the well-being. The physical form is the body of God, and it knows how to heal. And as we continue to listen to that still small voice that Elijah heard in the stillness, I know there's a place within inside of us that is familiar. As if a friend had called that we hadn't heard from a long time. We don't say, hey, who are you? We know who it is. Let us become that familiar with that divine voice that knows our wholeness, that loves us unconditionally, that seeks to express in our life in ways that bring the pieces together, the wholeness to emerge, the abundance to flow, the relationships to be passionate, the self-expression to be fulfilling. I know this is the natural state of grace in which we have been charged to walk this world. And I am grateful to trust that in this moment now. Just as Seaside continues to expand and prosper and thrive because the ideas continue to come from on high, ever expanding the infinite possibilities, attracting new individuals into our spiritual community and family that come to play. For Seaside grows in every capacity because we continue to put spirit first, and what we discovered is fulfilling the needs of those that hunger for a greater spiritual realization of the personal touch of the divine. And this I am grateful to know that we are succeeding at, that every prayer request brought forth into our prayer chest is answered, that these practitioners that speak the words of truth after the service are spirit expressing. Grateful to know that Seaside rests on this divine consciousness of God. I say thank you for the words we have spoken. They're the truth, that they're happening now in our personal lives. And I'm grateful not to anyone or anything. It's just a sense of gratitude for the good that is, the God that is being as our very life. I let go to this. I trust this. I believe in the divine unfoldment and the fulfillment in relevant ways in our life. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life when I thought I had to do it all myself, and I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged and you are struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it go. Bye-bye. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, let's hear you. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
And our affirmation is, I am the good time Spirit is having. Together, I am the good time that Spirit is having. Touch your heart and feel like it's so. I am the good time that Spirit is having. Let the world know it's true. Say it one more. I am the good time Spirit is having. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love, I'm living in peace, I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears, in this world as I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We're living in love. We're living in peace. United we stand as one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me, and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace.
Come on up for prayer. We're here for you. Enjoy. It feels good. No cost. Let us know what you would like to know the truth about.